Hello and welcome to the Pig and Whistle Tales from Azeroth. As always here at the Pig and Whistle Inn in Stormwind, I go through a variety of subjects with regards to World of Warcraft. So grab a bottle or a pint, sit back and enjoy. Today we're going to be going over... I don't really know what to call this especially, but what's wrong in WoW, kind of a rant, PvP edition kind of thing. It's kind of what could be improved in Dragonflight at the moment, what's kind of getting on my nerves in Dragonflight in PvP, and that kind of thing. Because Dragonflight's had such a good start, its raid is very good, it seems. PvP seems alright, but there are a few things that obviously are going to be a bit wrong with it. Whether it be balancing, whether it be solo shuffle, anything in between. It's an MMO, there's going to be stuff wrong with it, and I kind of just want to get a few things off my chest, essentially, in that regard. Some people might agree, some people might not. If you play any of these classes, any of these things, what do you call them? Not roles, the specific brackets like solo shuffle, threes, stuff like that I'm basically going to rant about. Don't take it personally. It's just a rant of my own personal preferences on what I think the game should be heading towards in terms of balance changes, what they have to do in the future to keep the game going and keep certain features of the game, like solo shuffle, entertaining and vibrant for those that want to play it. So, we will start off with the weekly news. As always, we have a boss that I will have to learn the name of. Liskanoth. That one's probably the easiest. I'll go with that. Liskanoth. He is located in Thaldraszus, and he is the air dragon, the sort of air primalist dragon boy, that kind of thing. He might be the fire. No, he's not the fire. The air one we had last week. He might be the fire. No, the fire we had this. It's frost. It's a frost one. Yes, I want. It's earth or frost. I can't really remember, but I'm guessing frost. So he's your world boss for this week, and the good thing about it is you don't need to go and kill him for any conduits, anima. You can kill him for a piece of gear, potentially. That's it. Piece of gear and some rep. Nothing. You don't need to go and kill him. And that's what's amazing about these world bosses. I'm going on a little tangent here. And like the weekly stuff, you don't have to do any of it. This is purely like optional now, like most of these things. And that's what makes the game so much more enjoyable for most people, most casual players, is that nothing is tied down to player power, which is very, very good. That is one of the reasons why Dragonflight is already such a big W with the community. The bonus event for this week is Warlords of Draenor Time Walking. Warlords of Draenor had a few decent dungeons, but essentially you're going in there to get your time walking badges so that you can purchase mounts, pets, that kind of thing. All of them unique to the specific time walking, and you won't see this time walking for a couple months, so make sure that you get the items that you wish in during this week. The brawl for this week is Deepwing Dunk. Very simple. It's a shorter brawl in terms of Deepwing Gorge. There's 3 orbs. You have to take the orbs to the enemy base and either throw them or dunk them into the enemy hoop, so to speak, and you will score certain points whether you dunk or throw it. Spirit of Redemption is the spell that we will be looking at, but before that we have the mythic affixes, which is Raging, Storming, Tyrannical and Thundering. Storming and Thundering go pretty well together, don't they? Raging, when a mob reaches below 30%, they do 100% increased damage. This is every single mob, so make sure that you soothe it or kite it if you are a tank. Storming, little storms will appear usually within melee. Just make sure you move away from them. It's not going to kill you, it's just going to be a nuisance, and it might kill you in the sense that it might knock you up into the air into another mechanic that will kill you, so just keep an eye out. They're quite annoying. Tyrannical, the bosses and the mobs that they spawn are a bit tankier and deal more damage, so make sure you're popping your cooldowns and have a build for Tyrannical week. And Thundering is the seasonal affix. You get a buff on you that increases your damage And before this buff expires, you must run to the other person with it in order to purge it. Otherwise, you will be stunned, and you do not want that. You do not want that. It is for a while and deals a lot of damage as well. So, not good at all. So, Spirit of Redemption. It was first added back in, vanilla World of Warcraft, and the tooltip, or the first few patches, or the first 3 notes that we have is from World of Warcraft Vanilla. The tooltip updated to be more clear. Not too sure what they mean by that. I guess they didn't make it clear that when you died, you become an angel and can just spam heals. The next patch is redesigned. Previous effect: upon death, summons a Spirit of Redemption that heals nearby friendly targets for 318 to 360 and another 343 over 21 seconds. Wow, so it wasn't the same all throughout its history. Before this patch, it was when you died, you summon a little like Naru that just heals people. That's really cool. Oh, I quite like that concept, actually. That's really cool. So this is obviously the iteration that we have of Spirit of Redemption to this day, when it was redesigned all the way back in 2006. That's incredible. The last change in Classic was fixed an issue preventing Twisting Nether from re-triggering when Spirit of Redemption effect runs out. Not too sure. Oh, that's the Dark Moon card, Twisting Nether, where you have a chance to be able to just res instantly, that kind of thing. So you could die from Spirit of Redemption and your trinket was basically useless because it wasn't proccing because of a bug. So it made it a useless trinket, essentially. So it's a good thing that they fixed that. Took them a couple years, but it's a good thing that they fixed that. There were 2 changes in Burning Crusade. Spirit of Redemption has been upgraded to give 5% spirit to the priests, and that invests in the talent as well as lasting 5 more seconds than it used to. Nice little buff. And this one's a bit weird. Now works while the priest is in shadow form. Now, I'm not too sure about this one, because shadow form is obviously at the bottom, or near the bottom of the shadow tree, and I'm pretty sure were you able to get Spirit of Redemption, like, along with shadow form? I feel like that's really weird. I feel like that's just not right in any sense. Like, yeah, I'm not too sure about that, but at least it works when you're in shadow form. And then the next change was Cataclysm. There were a few changes. The 5% spirit increase from Spirit of Redemption has been removed. Okay, little nerf. And then Spirit of Redemption has been rebuilt to address a new functionality issues and make it more responsive. Spirit of Redemption otherwise remains unchanged. And the final hotfix in Cataclysm: a priest with Spirit of Redemption who dies first as the round is ending in Strand of the Ancients should no longer become permanently stunned for the rest of the game. That's actually quite funny. I'm pretty sure I saw a bug similar to this, like, early on in Dragonflight, but I can't remember where I recalled it from. But yeah, it's basically, it keeps you in that state. It says that, so when Strand of the Ancient ends, everyone's frozen, and essentially you're ported to where you go. You're either going on offense or defense. And the Spirit of Redemption obviously isn't a player. You die afterwards. So it's still classing you as you're a spirit, like, in that form. So you can't move, you can't do anything, you can just cast, I would imagine. So essentially, you're permanently a Spirit of Redemption, and just, yeah, that's unfortunate. Quite a funny bug, I'm not going to lie. Wait, Strand of the Ancients. Oh my god. Strand of the Ancients came out in Wrath of the Lich King. This, like, hotfix came out 3 to 4 years after that Battleground came out. That's incredible to think about. And then it got 1 change in Missa Pandaria. Spirit of Redemption should no longer prevent priests from getting the sacrifice to Ordos debuff, which kind of makes sense. That was like a thing in Timeless Isles where essentially you'd use it to like gain currency and buy certain toys, items like that. So there were no more changes after this, but what Spirit of Redemption did become, instead of just a normal talent, it is now passively learned for Holy Priests, essentially. And you can take a PvP talent where you can transform into the spirit whenever you want. It's on like a 2-3 minute cooldown, something like that. But essentially, you can't be interrupted, you can't be CC'd, but you are stunned in the position that you used that. So people can set up off of that and know when your spirit is about to run out, so that you can just get flattened after that Spirit of Redemption is done. But that is where Spirit of Redemption is. It's an annoying ability, I'm not going to lie. You can use it as a resurrection tool in like arenas and PvP, which I'm not going to get into, but my take on it, my very, very brief take, is no one should be able to res in an arena if you are killed. If your team manage to resurrect you via like any of the resurrections, such as revive, rejuvenate, whatever it is, the like 8-second cast one, that's fine. That's on your team for being stupid and not realizing that the other guy's rezzing. But anything that prevents you from actually getting a kill in the first place, like Spirit of Redemption cheat death, it's not good. Even the like shaman astral like totem or whatever, it is annoying as hell, even though you give up like the Maul totem, which is one of your biggest defensives. Like it's real tough. It's real tough to make a argument to say that you should be able to utilize these abilities that give you a resurrection in an arena, because people earn that kill so much that it shouldn't warrant them just being brought back to life because, hey, I'm a guardian spirit and I died, but not really. Joke's on you, haha. Yeah, that kind of thing. So let's get into the rant, essentially, of this episode. Oh, I don't want to call it a rant. It's more disagreements with the game at the moment. Disagreements, I guess, is the best way to put it. Yeah, disagreements with the game. So, firstly, I want to talk about Solo Shuffle. Solo Shuffle as a whole is very good, very welcomed by the community. A lot of people can just jump in if you don't have an arena team that you want to play with. You know, it's all very good. Obviously, there is a lack of healers. I can't really see why people would want to play healer into it, maybe just to learn a new healing spec and stuff, but it seems so stressful as a healer to go in there, unless you go into it with a very chill sort of attitude. It seems very, very stressful. But the lack of healers they're already looking at putting sort of multiple ways to encourage people to go healing. Therefore, this will reduce the queue times of DPS and such. But yeah, so I'm not going to rant about that specifically. I'm more talking about the levers and the 0 rating. So levers in Solo Shuffle really hinder it for everyone. Everyone within that game currently gets 0 rating, and you have waited as a DPS about 15-20 minutes for this game, essentially, for nothing. Absolutely nothing. All of that time is wasted. You could play 5 rounds and someone's won 0 rounds and it's like, oh, screw it, I'm just going to leave. And it's like, oh, great. Okay, that's great fun. Now, the reason that they leave is because it doesn't change their MMR. So their actual match rating does not change. Their combat rating might change, but their matchmaking does not. So they will be put in high-ranked lobbies still. Now, they are already looking at ways to punish leavers, which is very good. They're also looking at ways to give you your rating if someone does leave after a set amount of rounds, and it will calculate it on, oh, you've won 2 out of 5 rounds or 2 out of 4 rounds. So that kind of thing, which is very, very good. I'm very much all for that. 0 rating, what do I mean by it? When you win, let's see. So it makes sense, but it is annoying. So 20-minute queue as a DPS. The queue pops, you enter as a DPS, and your combat record, your rating at the time is 1,800. Let's say 1,800 exactly. The matchmaking, so the MMR of both teams is about 1820. Yeah? Okay. You win 3 rounds, you lose 3 rounds, and you get 0 rating. It's annoying. You have waited 20 minutes to do this game, and you get 0 rating for it. You get 6 rounds, which is lucky because no one left, but 0 rating. So the purpose of this is because obviously you're around the same matchmaking, like in terms of the teams. So if you've won half, lost half, you should stay the same because you're where you need to be, essentially, which makes sense. A lot of people do not understand this and understand why you get 0 rating. Now, I do have to agree, though, it is very frustrating. But the only thing that's frustrating about it is the fact that you had to wait 20 minutes to see that. Now, if you look at it a different way, it's, I got a game in 2 minutes as a healer. I got 0 rating out of it because I went 3-3, but I learned a lot about, class, like warriors and when they burst or something. Or I went up against a really good, like, shadow priest or a warlock or a death knight, and this is how they played it. So I need to, be careful and have a look out for this instead now. So you can take a lot more out of it because it's a lower sort of queue time and you're not as annoyed and hung up over it. But I think they'll do something about the rating. They might give you 10, 15, just to give you a little something, kind of like you won 1 game of Arena. But when people were first starting to go get to their MMR, they were obviously getting 420 rating and stuff, instead of the usual 3v3 bracket where it's, I got 11 rating for this game, I got 15, I lost 7 because they were a lot higher MMR than us. Well, a lot of people hopped into solo shuffle, started winning 5 rounds and getting 420 rating, and then that just kept slowly going down and down as they got to their actual matchmaking rating, and then went 3-3 at that exact rating, and they got 0. And it's well, what the hell is this? This is ridiculous. If you were to go into an arena, a 3v3 arena with your team, and you were to somehow draw the arena, you would expect 0 rating, wouldn't you? You wouldn't expect, we clearly won that because everyone in the arena died at the exact same time. We should go up in rating or down. No, you drew, so you're at where you need to be. That's where a lot of people are getting confused. It's annoying, but it's annoying on the basis that you waited 20 minutes for it, not the game mode itself. It's the queue time that's annoyed you, and that's had a domino effect into you getting no rating because you had to wait that amount of time. I'm not sure if that quite makes sense, but I think I explained it as best that I could. Essentially, it's annoying, but it's not because it's 0 rating or because it says 0 that it's annoying. It's because of the queue time. That's the very short summary that I will give. Yeah. So another sort of irk that I have about PvP at the moment is self-healing. And more importantly, self-healing that is very passive. Now, the way that I'm going to explain this is very simple. I'm a boomkin. I main a boomkin, a giant chicken, a chicken that can throw moons from the sky, that kind of thing. For my healing and my defensives, I have to go into bear form, bark skin, which isn't on a global cooldown, which is nice, frenzy regen, or just spam regrowths to help out another healer. I am actively doing 0 damage when I am in these forms or doing these button presses. Look at a warlock, for example, right now. Look at a demon hunter, for example, right now. Look at even a fury warrior, for example, right now. Fury warriors have battle trance. when you hit the same target, you regen 3% of your health and 5 rage or something every few seconds. It's a passive, and you are dealing damage to enable that passive. You did not have to do anything outside of your normal rotation. Demon Hunters, through their leech and their demon procs, they don't have to do anything different outside of their damage to heal up. They heal up through leech, through damage itself. So, yeah, tell me how that's fair. And then look at Warlocks, who Dark Pact, again, off a global cooldown, unstable resolve. UA? No. Yeah. Unstable resolve. Or, I forget the cooldown. But yeah, it's a massive damage reduction. Again, not on a global cooldown. Soul Leech is the big one. Soul Leech, for every bit of damage you do, you get a shield. A percentage of that damage goes into a shield. And this can accumulate up to 5% or something of your max health. If you think about a Warlock's health right now, 450k, we'll say, around about that. It's more like 430, but I just can't be asked to do the maths. So 450k. You're 10% of that, 45k. 22k of a shield. And that's at max. That's sort of like max. Actually, I think it might be more. I swear I saw Soul Leech for 44k. I can't remember. But it might be more. But essentially, it is a big shield that constantly regenerates itself while dealing damage. You press nothing different. You lose nothing in terms of your damage rotation, your damaging abilities, absolutely nothing. You are doing your maximum damage while healing, and I'm having to give up all of my damage to heal. And yet, your healing or your absorbs are a lot more effective than mine. And that is incredibly annoying to think. Here's the problem with it. It is that you don't give up anything. If Warlocks gave up all of their defensives, but you got a 50% damage increase on your dots, you would be a massive glass cannon or something. And that is okay. I'm okay with you doing ridiculous amounts of damage, but you are easier to kill. I'm okay with glass cannon specs. What I'm not okay is you will still do the most damage in the arena, and yet you will somehow outheal my healer at the same time. That's what I'm not okay with, and that's where I kind of think it's getting a bit out of hand, especially with Demon Hunters, with their demon procs. The amount that it heals, their leech, their very passive leech, is very good. I do have to say that Demon Hunters do have it rough, though, with their defensive cooldowns. I think Blur is an amazing cooldown, one of the best in the game, with a minute cooldown. But Darkness it's all right, but I would like something that's more guaranteed. Darkness has a % chance to absorb all of the damage from a hit. And yeah, I've died from 100 to 0 in Darkness. I got hit for 150k Wake of Ashes through it. So it's that RNG element where it's oh, great. Yeah, that just did nothing for a 3-minute cooldown. You would like something that is a bit more guaranteed, especially. Kind of like Spirit Link, you know what it's going to do. Void Shift, you know what it's going to do. Disperse, you know what it's going to do. That kind of thing. Them big cooldowns, it's a guarantee on what they're going to do. Darkness, you can't guarantee what damage you will and won't take. So you're usually having to use it quite high health, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, anything that is self-healing passively without having to give up anything is a real bug for me right now. And Demon Hunters, Warlocks, stuff like that fall into that category. Speaking of Demon Hunters, they're the most obnoxious things in the game right now. It's very much, oh, look, I jump in, press Metamorphosis, I I-beam Metamorphosis, I Essence Break, I I-beam Death Sweep, and it's just so much damage. It's to the point where it might be unhealable. Because of how constant it is. And these demon hunters are usually paired with a unholy death knight, where things can't get away as easily because of chains of ice, grips and stuff. Warriors with spears of bastion, they're usually with another melee. They're not usually with a caster at all. So it's usually a lot of damage very quickly. And even after these cooldowns, such as recklessness, avatar, metamorphosis, a-bomb limb, you're going to be taking a lot of damage purely on the mortal strikes alone. They're going to have a lot of mortal strikes up on you. So a damage or a healing reduction. And this can feel like they're bursting you anyway. So it's constant uptime. Melee have zero downtime unless you're CCing them very actively and coordinating this with your team. It's very tough to deal with because casters usually have goes. So a Shadow Priest will usually have a go when Dark Ascension's up, or like a small go every 45 seconds when CC is up, or Boomkins will have a go every minute when Fury of Elun's up. Demon Hunters especially have a go every 45 seconds with Essence Break, very good, but their Death Sweep is like an 8-second cooldown and it's a Mortal Strike, and you're just pressing 2 buttons essentially to deal damage. Oh no, 3 with Throw Glaive, sorry, my bad. And it's absolutely insane. The amount of damage that they do outside of their cooldowns is like still very good, considering their cooldowns are meant to enhance it by like almost 2-3 times it should be. Now, what I'm kind of ranting about here is you either have to up the healing of most healers. I'd say put it on the same level as Evoker. Evoker healer is very good right now. It's got a lot of healing output. It's got a lot of sort of resources to utilize in situations. But essentially, its healing output is a lot higher than most of the other healers at this point. So much so that people think it's out-healing most things and it's too good. Well, firstly, the Evoker can get CC'd quite often. The Evoker's putting himself in harm's way to actually go into the fight, as some of his healing spells put him on top of the target that he's healing. So he's getting in the fight, so you can CC him, switch to him, stuff like that. So in my opinion, you either do one of two things. You reduce the damage that is outside of their cooldowns, the melee's cooldowns, by a substantial amount. Maybe just not by too much, but maybe like 5-10% ish. It seems so constant when there's 200 mortal strikes on you. That's the only thing. Or you raise the healer output. And I thought I'd never say that, because this means that like longer games can occur and stuff. This is obviously for a bit more of your casual to like medium higher like ratings. I think once you get past Glad, it's a lot. It's still loads of damage, but you can maybe manage it a bit easier. Essentially, yeah, you just want to. I think that you should bring all of the healers up to the Evoker level. In my opinion, maybe give them a buff, like if you're below a certain rating. No, I don't know. I really don't know how to like do that. But essentially, it feels like there's zero downtime for melee, especially if there's two just training you. You've got to play very perfectly to like counteract that go. So it's like, oh, they've pressed on me. Okay, we'll just dark this and then go on them immediately. Like, we won't disperse. We'll just send our entire like spell kit at them. And that's kind of where the meta is right now. It's not CC comps. It's not setup comps. It is, I will slam my head against my keyboard better than you. Try me. I've been doing this for years, and I play Demon Hunter. I've got 3 buttons. I will slam my head against my keyboard better. That kind of thing. It's a shit show when there's 2 melees, like 2 melee groups. I'm not a melee player. I'm very much a caster, so this is caster bias. But when I play my warrior, like just for shits and giggles with like a melee comp, and I go against a melee comp, there is just so much happening in that fucking like. It's a dog pile of 4 melees and 2 healers just watching this shit show happen, essentially. And yeah, it's quite funny, I'm not going to lie. But it seems like there's no thought process to it compared to a lot of other classes, such as casters, in my opinion. But these are the sort of main rants or like disagreements I have with PvP. I think they're going to be changing a lot throughout the seasons or throughout the patches, and I would like it. I would really like it. They've already done something with Boomkin in next patch. They're doing a few sort of updates here and there. Apparently they've got a lot in store very soon, so hopefully we get to hear about that within the coming weeks. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll hopefully see some changes going into the near future, but this is all very much opinion based from a caster point of view. Again, I'm sorry if I spoke about your class in a bad manner, but I hate your class. That's yeah, I'll stick with that. Especially Demon Hunters, I'm looking at you. But yeah, thank you all very much for listening. As always, check out the Patreon down below for ad-free content, as well as the YouTube and Twitch constant stuff happening over there. But thank you all very much for listening, and go with Valor, friend. Goodbye all.